Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Angela, and if you weren't already aware, this is Slow Readers Bookshelf. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison, my thoughts purely on the book versus the film of Freda McFadden's The Housemaid. This I'd had on my shelves for a wee while. It's the first Freda McFadden I have read. And again, it was another one of those ones where there was a lot of hype about it, and then the movie came out, so I thought maybe this is my chance to read the book. So I have wrote myself some notes because I do get a little bit brain foggy, and then I didn't want to, and a sort of, I wouldn't say keynotes, but kind of, you know, sort of bullet points for myself. So like we say, Freda McFadden book, it is actually, there's 4 books in the series, and this is the first one in the series. This was first published in 2022. I would say to you before going into this book, there is trigger warnings. Please do check them out before going into it. It was a big hype. I would say probably on the book talk scene. So we have, is a sort of, Freda McFadden is a practicing physician and she specialises in brain injury. She also has penned multiple psychological thrillers and medical humour novels. And I'm pretty sure most recently she's kind of, I think this is the author that it is a pen name for. And recently we've kind of learned what her name is. Genre of this book, it is a psychological thriller, as we say. I would say domestic thriller, domestic fiction, and a suspense book. Now, by all accounts, Freda McFadden's books have all got sort of twists and turns in, and there's always sort of a twist in it. I've heard, like I say, this is actually the first of her books I've read. So for me, I found this to be a medium to fast paced book. I think it got faster in the second half of the book. The first half, I think we were building the story, and I think this is part of what the difference between the book and the film is. That I think the film got straight into the action, and I think it's a book with dark secrets, very much mind games. Everything's not what it seems to be, with, I would say, with the 3 main characters really. So and I think this is where we've got the suspense. I think it unfurls, the story unfolds slowly, and what we've got is set in Long Island, and it's a wealthy couple, and I'm just gonna double check their characters. So we've got the wife, who is Nina, and these are the Winchesters, and her husband's Andrew, and we have a young girl who has a story of her own, secrets of her own, a past that she's hiding. She goes for a job, as she's lost a few jobs in the past for various reasons which come apparent later on in the book, and she goes to this wealthy house, and you've got this sort of very pristine, tidy, beautiful house, mansion, and she really feels, so Millie, who is the girl who becomes the housemaid, thinks, I've got no chance of getting this job. This is way above what I'm gonna get. I haven't really got any references. I've not been able to hold down a job. And you've got the wife, Nina, who is dressed sort of immaculate, always wears cream or white, comes across as being very organised, and just, as I say, things are just not what they seem. We've also got So obviously it turns out that this Millie does get the job, to her own surprise. She's very surprised she's got the job. And things just unfold. And like I say, in the book, it's a slow build. It just unravels slowly, and we get, I would say, tidbits throughout, you know, a little bit's just revealed bit by bit by bit. You also have another character who in the book is more prominent, and that is the gardener Enzo. He's Italian, and when Millie first gets there, he's sort of comes across as though he doesn't understand what she's saying and that he doesn't speak much English. But again, you know, things we find out about more about each of the characters as the book goes on. I think so she gets this job, and Millie gets this job, and when because she's living in a car, that's not a spoiler, it's at the beginning of the book. I'm trying to do a review. I'm trying to learn how to get better at doing book reviews where I can tell you about the book, but I'm trying not to give you spoilers. So like I say, we know at the beginning of the book that Millie's got a history. We know that she lives in a car, and so getting this job is a big deal for her. She thinks all her dreams have come true. This is just going to set her on a new journey of her life. And then Nina becomes quite quickly unpredictable. Moods change. Even the house is not the same as in, you know, when she went to visit, the house was immaculate, and suddenly the house is not what it seems. It seems a little bit strange. Again, at the beginning we've got, if I remember rightly, at the very beginning we open with the police arriving at the house, and then it's sort of we go back and it unfurls what happened, why they're there. And as I said, so they've got this beautiful, beautiful house. You know, it's got a cinema in it, the furniture's luxurious, the kitchen's well equipped, you know, everything's just seems too good to be true, too perfect. But like we say, Andrew and Nina are a wealthy couple, so you would expect them to be able to afford this. But when Millie's shown to her room, it's up these stairs at the top of the house to an attic, and it's very barely furnished, and it's basic, and it's just not what the rest of the house is. And strangely, we find that the door to the attic can be locked, or can only be locked from the outside. So like I say, secrets are being held, pasts, we learn about the characters' pasts. And what I think the difference being in the move is what I found, actually, I'm sort of digressing a bit, because I'd seen the trailer to the film. I had a basic idea what the book was about. I knew it was a thriller, suspense. I'd heard, like I say, there was triggers, but I'd seen the trailer, I'd seen photo stills of the movie, and therefore in my head when I was reading this, the actors in the film are the people I imagined here. Now we've got Sydney Sweeney plays Millie in the movie. Amanda, is it Seyfried? She plays Nina, and I think they played really good parts. And then Brendan Skellner, I possibly pronounced that wrong, plays the husband, Andrew, and then these are the main three characters. Also, when Millie's around, when she's out and about on the odd occasion and she meets other people, the kind of impression of Nina, other people's impression, is that she has got some issues. So like I say, the book was a little bit of a, I would say, no, it took a little while to get into the story, a bit medium, fast to fast paced towards the second half when things, you know, but I think you find that, isn't it, with a lot of books, that to start with, until you're getting to know the characters, often a book is like that, isn't it? It's a bit slower to unravel, where I think the movie just went straight in. I think the movie had, there was more gore in it, it was more graphic. The movie altered some of the characters in it. As like I say, in the book you've got a gardener called Enzo, and in the movie, and Enzo has his own story to be told. He has I would say he's mentioned more. We know more about him in the book, but again, I think we do get they flush out more of characters in the book. We get, you know, we've got, I wouldn't say more time, do we, to talk about different characters, but in the movie it doesn't seem as so much as I wouldn't say as a main character. I suppose in the book he is quite a central character, so he seems to be less of a character in the book. In the they changed in the movie, they changed, I wasn't saying they did change the ending, they changed the climax of the film, so ultimately you do end up with the same result in the movie, but they changed it slightly, or how we get to it in the movie to what the book is. In the book, because like I say at the beginning of the book, the investigators, the police have arrived at the house, and that's how the book opens, and then like I say, we then go into what led up to that. In the book it's a male investigator. In the film they changed that to a female investigator, but again their kind of connection, or their personality, their relationships, I guess, are the same in both, or what we learn about them is the same in both when you have the bit of backstory for them. So I do think that the movie was more fast-paced. We got straight into the action. It was more gory. This was very much a female, feminine. I can't even say it. Feminine, sort of more female rage. And although in both the two characters, Nina and Millie, are obviously the central characters because it's the housemaid and she's working in the house, and it's the wife that employs her. I think the movie is more dramatic visually, but I think that was done more, I wasn't saying for the cinema. Yeah, I think when you adapt a book to a film, you have to draw people in. I think you have to make it everything sort of bigger and more dramatic and more you're going to draw keep people's attention. Not that the book doesn't keep people's attention, it does, but I think when you've got a period of, I can't recall how long the film, I think the film's a couple of hours long, possibly 2.5 hours. I feel more 2 hours because it's a few weeks since I watched it. I think with it, they have more artistic license, don't they, in a film? Right, so did I enjoy it? I did enjoy both of them. As normal, I would say I enjoyed the book more than the film, but I didn't think it was a bad film. I didn't think the time sort of dragged, but was that because I already knew what happened? And I think I finished the book maybe on the Wednesday morning, then I watched the film on the Wednesday afternoon, so I watched them very, very close together. This was another one where I feel there was a lot of hype about the book, but I wasn't disappointed. It was a book, I've read it, I enjoyed it. I think I would give it 4 stars. I think the movie, if I was giving the movie stars, 3.75. You know, would I read Freda McFadden again? Probably. Like I would certainly don't think I would sort of go straight in and think, no, I need to get the rest of the books in the series. I'm quite sure I haven't got the second book of this, and I'm not in a rush to read it. And maybe it's one of those ones where that if I saw it in a charity shop, I would pick it up rather than purchasing it new. As I say, I think this was probably about 4 star for me. I enjoyed the book. I do like a thriller. I am a thriller or person. I kind of, I wasn't say picked up on what was happening, and like so obviously when I watched the film I knew what was going to happen. Did I like the characters? Neither liked or disliked, I would say. I think as the book went on and you got to know the characters and the story unraveled a little bit more, I think my understanding of the characters and their actions and things came more across. Would I recommend the book? Yes, I would. As a thriller, yeah, I would. Am I pleased I read it? Yes. Would I recommend the film? Yeah, I'm pleased I didn't go and see it at the pictures. If you read the book, yeah. But it is, I would say the film is, when I say slightly different, like I say, it keeps the same storyline. It's just more, they've bigged everything up more. It's more, anything that happens, it's more dramatic. It's, so yes. So that was what my thoughts on The Housemaid by Freda McFadden. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already do so. Comment down below. Have you seen the film? What did you think of it? Again, as I always say with things, please no spoilers. Hopefully I've not spoiled anything for the book. Have you read the book? Did you want to read the rest of the series? What did you think of it? I thought the writing was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. It was readable. It wasn't a slog. I think it's I wouldn't say page turner, but it's a, yeah. I think they're like a readable thriller, I would say. So yeah, tell me what you thought of them. And if you have got to the end and can't think of anything to say, then please do give me, let's have a house emoji, because we've got the housemaid, and hopefully you will choose to come back again. So yeah, that's about it. And I will see you very shortly in another video when I welcome you back, or when you come back to the library. So do take care. Bye bye.